Hello, Matthew Williams here with a quick video to say I'm absolutely stunned and amazed at the most ridiculous planning application I have seen in years. I mean, it is just off the end of the scale in terms of what it's asking for and its unreasonable behaviour in making threats that they will close the pub if they don't get what they want. And what do they want? What they basically want is a change of use to turn the barn, which was built with lottery money from the community project, that was built with the express purpose of being an annex to the building for the use of the community for meetings and that sort of thing, meetings, gallery, whatever. The gallery was finished, but it was never allowed to be used. I mean, this is the crazy thing, but the gallery was finished. The gallery is there. Some parts of the building were never completed. Don't know why. That was the old owner. But the problem is that the new people, since coming there, have actually made works, quite substantial works, it would appear, to alter, not just from the original planning application. They've gone, because that never had planning permission for the alterations they've made, but they've made extra alterations which they're now asking for in the current planning. So the old alterations weren't even allowed, let alone the current alterations. So they should have been pulled down and put to the original planning specs from the first one. But the inference, and I want you to read the planning document, the inference is, in this document, that pubs are demising. They're really doing badly, and the Barge is doing badly, which it's not. Of course, we all know it's a great pub. It's been doing really well. Campsite does really well. Pub does really well. But these people have come in and they've ruined it, in my humble opinion. And now they're saying that if they don't get the change to the barn to be residential as their house, and they want a balcony, and they want new windows, and they want to put in an extra floor and a mezzanine and stairwells, and they want to put in 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, it's a house. It's a house. They want to surround the building with a fence. The fence has to go all the way around the building so it blocks off the pub from the canal. So this is a fenceway that goes all the way around, 1 metre high. The reason they need this is in order to secure the place, 1 metre high. I mean, I'll give you an average. 1 metre, here we go, but 1 metre high, right? There am I, okay? And that's about 1 metre high. So is that going to secure the premises, a 1 metre high fence? I don't think so. But they want to put a whole fence around it so that they can lock the car park, and they want to remove the byway from where it is, which is the whole of the car park is the byway for emergency vehicles, for access for the canal, for British Waterways, the Kennet Naven Canal Trust. All these people, including the boaters who use that, they want to take 2/3 of the car park and put a fence around it and make it a private gated car park so they can keep people out, because after all they're trying to make it their house. So they want to have a way to close the pub and then say, now you can't come in because we've got gates and fences around the place. Okay, yeah, very transparent, but they want to take 2/3 of the car park for them, and they want to have a third little tiny little pathway, which is to get to the canal. But the point it would bring you out on the canal is not where the hard standing is. So who would they be expecting to pay for this work to put the hard standing out where the pathway comes? I don't think British Waterways are going to have any interest in this at all, nor Kennet Naven Canal, nor the barge and boating community. But the inference is that they want to change the planning. They want to build a carport. This is amazing. A carport for 6 cars, for their own cars, which will further reduce the amount of car parking space. Bear in mind now, if they take away the byway, which say is 3/3, if they take a third away for a little pathway, which they want to be the byway, and they want to say, well, this bit now is no longer a byway, so no public access, it's private land now, and people can't access it, which, who the hell's going to want to do that? But that will reduce the amount of car parking space. So whereas all planning in the past has said that actually the car parking is not sufficient and should increase, they want to reduce it. And then they want to do it by putting in a carport. They want to put in a balcony. They want to put in a windows. They want to put in a gazebo, all of which is for them, for their house in the barn. The house that was the barn, the barn was created with money from the lottery as a community project to have a gallery and places for people to meet and learn and do things and have functions. And no, they want to turn it into a house. Can you believe this? So I suggest you all have a look at this. It is stunning. I've got to be honest. It's absolutely stunning that they would dare ask for all these things. And the best bit of all is at the end they say, oh, because the pub is failing, and the pub's not failing, the pub's been doing great, it's a world famous pub for crop circles, they're making it fail, right? Serving rubbish food, they've just got a terrible rating, it's a 3 out of 5 rating for cleanliness. So apparently this is their wonderful restaurant, and they got a 3 out of 5. Anyway, cleanliness and hygiene and food safety. Great. But the best bit is that at the bottom, they basically say, well, we employ a number of staff and we've got to seriously stress to you, if we don't get what we want with this house and all this planning, if we don't get what we want here, the pub is going to close. And they've said it in a planning application. The pub is basically set to close because we're only going to put our money and our commitment into it if we get that house just how we want it. If we don't get that house, then we're not going to do it. Do you know what? The pub has above it accommodation which could actually house four sets of different people. It's got office space. It's got bedrooms. It's got and that is where historically the people have been. The barn was designed with the upstairs supposed to be 2 bed and breakfast rooms, and that's what the planning is for. So they've closed the campsite, which is an acknowledged by the previous owner, Ian MacGyver, £30,000 they flushed down the drain because they don't want the campsite open. But they're saying that the building is failing, the pub is failing, but they threw away the chance to have £30,000. It's more like £70,000 that campsite brings in, because it's all the people who stay there in the tents. It's the money they bring into the pub, food and drink, and the campsite fees. It's a vast amount of money, and they wanted to turn it into a horse field. That hasn't been asked for in the planning, by the way, but they were thinking they were going to turn it into a horse field. Are these people mad? Are they mad? Because they're throwing away the pub's money in terms of what they can make, and then they're complaining, it's going downhill, it has no money, and and if we don't get this house, which they want to plough all this money into building a carport, they want to tarmac their private driveway, they want to redirect the byway and create a new laneway. They want to put fences all around the place, so it's secure. Their house is secure, and all this money is being ploughed into the barn, which they want to turn into their house, and they have not specified 1 penny that they're going to spend on the pub or development for the pub, or getting the pub up to speed and up to spec. They haven't specified anything. It's just, if we don't get to turn this into a house, the pub is going to have to shut, really. It's going to happen, which is a veiled threat, which means basically what they're saying is, we'll shut the pub. I cannot believe that threatening the council in a planning application like that and threatening people's jobs, if you don't get what you want, if you don't get your house out of that barn, which was, like I restate, lottery money allowed for that barn, the community project. There wouldn't have been that barn had it not been for the community project, and it was clearly stated in the planning application, which was allowed, that it was for community project use. Yeah? What do these people think they're doing by then trying to overturn that building, which was meant to be for the community, and just turn it into a private house for themselves? Excuse me, that is very cheeky, and is going to get rejected completely, because the byway, for example, has been there for 100 and odd years, and it's designed to give access, emergency vehicles, whatever, to get up there. How are they going to get up there? How are they going to turn round in a single track lane that they were sort of requesting they get? How are vehicles going to turn around? How are these emergency vehicles and vehicles for the hard standing for the canal, how are they going to get up there? It's not going to happen. It's a crazy application. I cannot believe they've had the barefaced cheek to ask for it, and I'm pretty certain, without too much effort, it's going to be rejected. Not just on one point, it's probably going to be rejected on about 30 points, I think. But, easily rejected on about 30 points. But there we go. I suggest you have a look at it, because this is what the people who currently own the barge are trying to do. And I believe they couldn't have made it more transparent than to put it in this planning application. They're screaming it at you. Please go and have a look.